There comes a time when you can no longer blame your past, your parents, your ex, your environment, or your upbringing for who you've become. There comes a time when the excuse dries up and the truth remains. You are responsible for your own transformation. Nobody is coming to fix you. Nobody is responsible for your breakthrough but you. If you want a freedom, you've got to fight for it. If you want change, you've got to choose it. Care enough. You cannot pray away what you're not willing to confront. You can't cast out demons you still enjoy dancing with. And you certainly cannot walk in purpose while protecting your dysfunction. You've got to fix yourself. Not because you're broken beyond repair and care enough, but because you're too valuable to remain fractured. God didn't create you to stay stuck. Heaven didn't invest that much in you to die in cycles. Fix yourself, because what's inside of you is too powerful to stay buried beneath insecurity, fear, addiction, or pride. Stop waiting for someone to recognize your worth while you refuse to recognize it yourself. Stop begging for opportunities when God has already given you the tools to build your own. Fix yourself. Not for applause and care enough, not for validation, but for alignment, for divine alignment. You can't walk into what's next dragging what's old. You can't embrace your future while cradling your pain like a baby. It's time to let it go. Let go of the bitterness. Let go of the victim mentality. Let go of the identity crisis you developed from people who didn't know how to love you. You don't need another prophecy. You need discipline. Care enough. You don't need more oil. You need order. Your healing is not in the laying on of hands. It's in the laying down of your pride. Some of us are waiting on God to change us while God is waiting on us to choose change. You can cry all night, but until you shift your mindset, nothing shifts around you. You can post all the quotes, attend all the conferences, shout in every service. But if you leave unchanged, it's just noise. Care enough. At some point, you've got to do the work. The uncomfortable, silent, painful, uncelebrated work of fixing yourself. And care enough. That means forgiving what hurt you. It means owning what you did. That means cutting off what keeps pulling you backward. That means fasting for clarity. Care enough. Praying for discipline. Studying for wisdom. Loving yourself enough to heal. Not just survive. People can hand you resources and care enough, but they can't give you responsibility. People can pour into you, but they can't make you receive. People can teach you, but they can't apply it for you. Fix yourself, fix your habits and language, fix your attitude, fix your faith walk, fix your thinking. You are the gatekeeper of your life. And care, if it's out of order, you let it in. If it stays broken, you refuse to repair it. You cannot outsource your healing. You cannot subcontract your character. The greatest transformation comes from within. And don't fix yourself to impress people. Fix yourself because purpose demands it. Destiny depends on it. Care enough. Future generations are connected to it. If you don't break it, it continues. If you don't heal it, it spreads. If you don't change it, it lives again in your children. Fix yourself so the curse stops with you. And fixing yourself doesn't mean perfection. It means responsibility. It means showing up every day and saying, I will not die in what I have the power to change. It means praying through it, crying through it, and care enough, fighting through it. It means you may not be there yet, but you're not quitting now. So this is your moment, not tomorrow, not when they apologize, not when things get easier now. Look in the mirror and say, no more waiting, no more blaming, no more denial. I am fixing myself because I am worth the work. There comes a season in life where you must stop rehearsing your reasons and start embracing your responsibility. A season where you must look at everything you've survived, everything you've endured, everything that tried to break you, and decide, I will no longer live under the weight of excuses. Excuses are easy. They're comfortable. They allow you to shift blame, delay growth, justify stagnation. Excuses let you say, I am this way because of what happened to me. Instead of saying, and care enough, I'm growing in spite of what happened to me. But you were never meant to live in survival mode forever. You were never meant to stay stuck at the scene of the trauma, stuck in the memory of rejection, or bound by the words they said. At some point, care enough. You must rise and declare, this pain will not be my identity, because you cannot build a future while bowing to the past. You cannot carry purpose while cradling excuses. You cannot rise to your calling while still rehearsing why you're not ready. Care enough. Responsibility is not about blame. It's about ownership. It's not about saying the pain was your fault. It's about saying, even though I didn't cause it, I refuse to let it control me. You can't control what happened, but you can control your response. Care enough, but you can't undo the abuse, but you can decide it won't be your narrative. You can't erase the betrayal, but you can choose not to become bitter. You are not helpless. You are not helpless. You're not powerless. You are responsible for your healing, responsible for your mindset, responsible for your next step. The truth is, nobody is going to come and rescue you from the excuses you built your life around. Care enough. Nobody's going to come knock on your door and say, it's your turn now. You must claim your moment. You must rise from the ashes and say, what they did will not define who I become. Excuses are chains, and they sound like protection. They sound like wisdom. They sound like self-care. And care enough. I can't trust again because I've been hurt. I can't lead because I was rejected. I can't try because I failed. But in reality, care enough. They are not protecting you. They are imprisoning you. Every excuse you hold on to becomes a brick in the wall that separates you from your destiny. But responsibility tears the wall down. It says, care enough. No more hiding, no more deflecting, no more waiting for someone else to fix what I have the power to face. Responsibility doesn't ask you to be perfect. It doesn't even ask you to have it all together. It just asks you to show up in truth, show up with a willing heart, show up and say, care enough. But this is where I am, but this is not where I'm staying. There are two kinds of people in this world, those who explain away their pain enough, and those who extract purpose from it. Which will you? Because one leads to a cycle and the other leads to transformation. One makes you a victim and care enough. The other makes you a vessel. When you take responsibility, you take the power back. You say, I'm not waiting for closure. Care enough. I'm creating healing. I'm not waiting for them to come back. I'm moving forward without apology. Responsibility silences excuses. Care enough. It tells every lie you believed. You don't live here anymore. It kicks fear out of your decision-making. It silences the voice that says you're not enough. It breaks the narrative that says you'll always be stuck. It takes your story and places it in God's hands for purpose, for glory, for healing, and for legacy. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's painful. Yes, care enough. It takes discipline. But let me tell you something has a cost. And the cost is your excuses. You cannot be free and stay fragile. You cannot be whole and still hide. You cannot grow and still gossip about what went wrong. You must stand in the mirror and say, care enough. I'm not waiting for someone else to change. I am the change, the healing you're waiting for. It starts with you. The doors you're praying for, they require your movement. The clarity you're desperate for, it flows through obedience. Stop waiting for it to feel better. I start deciding that you're worth the process. Responsibility is not a burden. It's an invitation to break cycles, to change atmospheres. Care enough to elevate your life, to declare, this generational dysfunction ends with me. You were not born to be a prisoner of your history. Care enough. You were born to be the architect of your future. But that only happens when you refuse to play small, refuse to stay bitter, care enough, and refuse to keep explaining why you haven't become who you were created to be. Today is the day you drop the excuses. Today is the day you take back your power. Not tomorrow, not next month, not when they change. Now, this is the moment you stand up and care enough. Not just emotionally. You stand up in your soul and say, if nobody encourages me, I'll encourage myself. If nobody believes in me, I'll believe anyway. If nobody says I can do it, I'll do it by faith. Excuses will keep you comfortable, but purpose will require you to move. Care enough, and though responsibility may feel heavy at first, it will ultimately set you free. You don't need more time. You don't need another confirmation. You just need to say yes to the process. Care enough. Healing is not a soft process. It is not always peaceful. It is not always pretty. It's not always wrapped in inspirational quotes or gentle affirmations. Care enough. Healing, real healing, begins in the trenches. It begins in the places we would rather forget. It begins in the shadows I've learned to decorate. Care enough. It begins not with denial, not with deflection, not with distraction, but with confrontation. At some point, you must stop running. You must stop pretending. Care enough. You must stop packaging your pain in religious language or rehearsed smiles. You must go back into very places you've tried to bury. Open the doors you've nailed shut and confront the reality of what broke you. Unconfronted pain doesn't disappear. It disguises itself. Care enough. It turns into bitterness. It bleeds into relationships. It hijacks your thoughts. It clouds judgment. It blocks your prayers. You think you're moving on, care enough, but really you're just moving around the issue, and the issue stays alive, feeding on your silence, thriving in your denial. You've mastered surviving, but not healing, because healing requires you to stop hiding. It requires you to sit the truth of what happened. The betrayal, the abuse, the abandonment. Care enough. The words they said, the love they withheld, the trauma you normalized, the version of yourself you lost along the way. Care enough. This isn't about reliving for pain's sake. It's about acknowledging what you went through matter. It shaped you. It scarred, but it does not have to define you. Confrontation is not about blaming. It's not about staying stuck in the past. And care enough. It's about reclaiming the truth so that healing can begin. You prayed for healing. You've fasted for breakthrough. You've asked God to remove the weight, but God is saying, you've got to face what's been buried, because until confronted enough, you will keep bleeding in places that never cut you. Until you confront it, you will remain bound by patterns you don't understand. Until you confront it, your healing will remain incomplete. He could have just spoken the miracle instantly, but he engaged the wound. He pulled the pain into the light before healing it. Why? Because transformation begins where truth is acknowledged. Some of you have built your life around avoiding that moment. You've filled your calendar, your feed, your friendships, even your ministry with noise. But silence scares you and it terrifies you, because in the silence, your wounds speak loud. In the quiet, you feel what you've been running from. Enough. But can I tell you something? Yes, confrontation is hard. It hurts. It humbles. It takes you back to places you've locked away. Don't fear the confrontation. Fear the consequences of avoiding it. Fear the years you'll lose pretending. Care enough. Fear the relationships you'll damage bleeding on others. Fear the purpose you'll never step into because you refuse to face what held you back. There's a reason it hurts, because healing is not passive. It is active warfare against everything that tried to destroy you. Care enough. It's tearing down the lies you believe to survive. It's pulling up the roots of rejection, fear, shame, and abandonment. Care enough. It's facing the mirror without flinching. It's crying the tears you tried to suppress. It's saying out loud what you saw you'd never tell a soul. And care enough. That's the confrontation. Because healing doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean it didn't happen. It means it no longer controls your identity. Care enough. It no longer makes decisions for you. You are no longer reacting from pain. You are responding from wholeness. And that's the true goal. But hear me clearly. Care enough. Confrontation is not a one-time event. It's a lifestyle of honesty. It's checking in with yourself. It's asking the hard questions. Care enough. It's not waiting until you explode to deal with what's wrong. It's choosing awareness over avoidance. Care enough. It's not just seeking comfort. It's pursuing truth. Some of us want to be healed but don't want to be honest. We want the fruit of freedom, not the labor of confrontation. But healing requires that you tell the truth, not just to others, but to yourself. Don't just sweep it under the rug. Don't call it strength when it's actually suppression. Don't call it maturity when it's just masking. Healing starts when you face it. Eyes open, care enough, heart trembling, voice shaking, and say, this hurt me, but it will not keep me. Everyone wants change. Everyone wants transformation. Care enough. Everyone wants the breakthrough, the blessing, the better life. But let me ask you something. Do you want enough to be disciplined for it? Care enough. Desire is not the problem. You've got enough vision boards and enough inspiration, enough, I'm going to do it this year. declarations, and care enough. You've cried in service. You've shouted during sermons. You've written in journals. You've posted quotes. But when the emotion fades, care enough. Do you have the discipline to become what you desire? Care enough. And the truth is, we've become addicted to the idea of change without submitting to the process of change. We want resurrection power, but we don't want crucifixion obedience. We want new life, but we don't want to die to old habits. We want promotion, but we don't want preparation. Care enough. We want God to do it for us when He's calling us to partner with Him and doing it through us. Let's be honest. Desire feels good. It's motivational. It's emotional. It fuels hope. But desire without discipline is like a car without gas. It looks like it's going somewhere, but it's stuck. No movement. Care enough. No traction. No progress. Discipline is the fuel that gets your desires off the ground and into reality. I don't feel like it. I'm doing it anyway. I'm tired, but I'm showing up. I'm tempted, but I'm choosing purity. I'm scared, but I'm taking the step. You cannot pray your way out of a lifestyle you behave your way into. You cannot rebuke what you continuously allow. And care enough. You cannot cry your way into consistency. There comes a time when you must shut down the emotional response and say, it's time to work. Time to work on my mindset. Time to work on my character. Time to work on my calling. Time to align my life with what I said I wanted. Care enough. Discipline requires alignment, and alignment, there are going to be things that feel good but don't fit your future. Care enough. You're going to have to say no. Not because it's sinful, but because it's a distraction. Not because it's evil, because it's not essential. Care enough. Discipline cuts away the excess so that purpose can emerge. It's in the discipline that habits are formed. It's in the discipline that strength is built. It's in the discipline that confidence is developed. And no, you won't always feel like doing it. That's why it's called discipline. Some of us have been praying for God to do in a moment what He has designed to happen through a process. You don't need more motivation. Care enough. You don't need another prophetic word. You don't need a new accountability partner. You need to make a decision, a solid, unshackable, non-negotiable decision. I will not about my change because I'm uncomfortable. Change will cost you. It will cost you comfort enough. It will cost you convenience. It will cost you some company. It will cost you your cravings. But what you lose in comfort, you gain in purpose. What you lose in now, you gain in next. Listen, you were never called to live at the mercy of your moods. You were created to master them, to rise above the storm, to push through the pressure, to endure the process. Because you're not just changing for yourself. Care enough. You're changing for everyone connected to you, your children, your legacy, your future, your ministry, your destiny. You say you want to change. Good. And care enough. But are you willing to become uncomfortable? Are you willing to suffer for it? Sweat for it. Fight for it. Are you willing to show up tired, show up unnoticed, show up imperfect, and still say yes? Because change is not birthed in convenience. It is forged in fire, in the fire of consistency. The fire of humility, the fire of self-denial, the fire of perseverance. That's where true transformation happens. Everybody wants the breakthrough. We want open doors. We want new levels. We want overflow. We want the business to boom, the marriage to flourish, the ministry to expand, the visibility, the influence, the blessing. And God is not withholding it. The issue is you're asking for outer transformation while avoiding inner transformation. Care enough. You're praying for a platform, but your carrot can't carry it. You're asking for abundance, but your mindset is still stuck in scarcity. You're shouting for breakthrough, but you're still full of bitterness, pride, insecurity, fear. It's the private work, the unseen work, the midnight work, the in the mirror, honest with yourself, cry until you heal kind of work. The soul work, the mind work, the discipline work, the identity work. That's why many people look successful, but they're spiritually bankrupt because they chase visibility without doing the internal construction. And care enough. They look the part, but lack the roots. And anything built without strong roots can't survive the storm. You may not like the season you're in, and care enough. It feels quiet. It feels hidden. You see others rising while you're sitting. Doors seem to open for everyone else while yours remain shut. Care enough. But maybe, just maybe, this isn't punishment. Maybe it's preparation. Maybe you're not being denied, you're being developed. Maybe God is protecting you from reaching a level your inner life cannot sustain. If your soul is out of order, any blessing you receive will slip through your hands. If your identity is still rooted in people pleasing, success will crush you. If your emotions still rule you, opportunity will destroy you. That's why God delays some things, not because he's mad at you, care enough, but because he loves you too much to give you what you're not ready for. Because what you're asking for requires a different version of you. A healed you, care enough, a disciplined you, a matured you, a spiritually grounded you. So don't despise the inner work. Don't rush past the quiet seasons. Care enough. That's where the true change is happening. That's where mindsets are being broken. That's where traumas are being confronted. Enough and care of. That's where your identity is being rooted in truth. That's where you discover who you really are, not based on applause, but based on alignment. Enough. You've got to sit in the fire and let it refine you. You've got to let the Holy Spirit put his finger on those hidden wounds. I challenge you enough and care enough. You've got to grieve what you lost and forgive what you hated. You've got to repent where you compromise and rebuild where you caved in. Care enough. Don't just chase the outcome. You do the inner work that attracts it. You don't become a better leader by getting more followers. You become a better leader by dying the ego, choosing humility and embracing servanthood. And care enough. You don't become emotionally whole by changing people. You become whole by healing from what did and learning to stand strong with or without their approval. You don't find peace by running from pain. You find peace by walking through it hand in hand with God and coming out refined, not ruined. That's why when you see someone walking in power, when you see someone who has peace under pressure, when you see someone walking in their calling without flinching, know this, they've done the inner work. They've wrestled in the night and care enough. They've confronted their patterns. They've lost some people. They've mourned the old self. They've been crushed so that they could be called. So care enough. If you're in a season of breaking, don't panic. You're not being planted. And what's planted doesn't look powerful at first. It's hidden. It's overlooked. It's underground. But one day it breaks through. Not because of what's on the outside, but because of what was built on the inside. You will not be remembered by the cars you drove, the house you bought, or the titles you earned. You will be remembered by the life you lived, the truth you walked in, the values you passed down, and the impact you made on the lives around you. Care enough. You can't hand down what you refuse to develop. You can't pass on wisdom you never pursued. You can't leave a standard that you never lived. Care enough. It begins with how you rise in the morning and how you fight your private battles. It begins in the tears nobody sees and the prayers nobody hears. You to love enough and care enough. It begins in your obedience, your humility, your healing, your sacrifice. You are living for people you may never meet, whose lives will be better because you chose to heal, to grow, to confront, to become. Not just for you, for the next generation, for your future children, for the people whose lives will intersect with yours, for the leaders you will birth, for the marriages you will inspire, for the communities you will touch. And let me be real, growth hurts. It